I will share with you first a little bit of the story, the history of this meeting, so you know how long we've been doing this, where that started. And after that, I will share with you what is the dynamic for this meeting. So I am actually located in Denver, and these meetings actually start back 8 years ago here in Denver. And it really took off during the pandemic. We truly became global because we connect through Zoom. So that was like the big step, the big jump. I have been always leading these meetings. I do love the mission of connecting women together, networking and supporting each other and learning it, because I love the fact that we are learners. The way that this meeting actually goes is we start by introducing ourselves. We share where we are located. We share what kind of business or work we do. And we also share what is a good lead for us. Let's try to be very specific about what is a good lead for us. So it's easier for everybody to say, oh, okay, I will send you this person. I will connect you to this person. And then at the end, every one of us are going to share what is the perception that we have about time. What is our perception of time? Because seems like time is going very fast. So what is the perception? Are you able to get things done? Are you able to do what you want to do and still do that thing? Are you able to, you are okay with the time? I mean, what is the perception that you have about time? And then after that, you're going to go and call someone else in the meeting. After we do that, we're going to come back together with a conversation where I hope everybody gets something. The idea for this meeting is for everybody to participate and to be engaged and to get something out of this. Not only the connections, but also something that you can take with you and you reflect on it. So I'm going to start with myself, and then I will pass it to somebody else. My name is Maria Pannan. I am located in Denver, Colorado, but I am from Bogota, Colombia. And I have been in Denver for the last 30 years. Before Denver, actually, I used to live in France. And before that, I was living in Geneva in Switzerland. I am right now the CEO of the DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Institute, the DEI Leadership Institute. So what we do is we certify leaders who are going to apply DEI efforts in their companies. And a good lead for me is anybody who really want to learn about DEI and how to apply in organizations. So any leader who really want to work in DEI is a good lead for me. Now, the perception of time. Salvador Dali actually is one of my favorite artists. And he has a wonderful painting that I always picture in my mind, because time is such a, I don't know, it's something that I always wonder, because it's not something that you can touch, but you can feel. It's something that goes so fast that you can, I don't know, I feel like we even miss it. So my perception of time is, especially after the pandemic, I feel like it's going way too fast. My mom just turned 80 years old. And when I went to Colombia over the Christmas, my question to my mom is, Mom, do you think life is long or short? And without even thinking, my mom said to me, I think life is too short. So I thought, okay, so it's not me, because I feel like the time goes so fast. It's really fast. So with that, couple things before I pass to the next person. As a networkers, remember that it's so important for us to remember names and remember what people do. So we might do a test after this. So let's try to be present of who is in the room and what they do. What are the names and what they do? And with that, I will actually pass it to Beatriz.
Thank you very much, Maria. My name is Beatriz Rodriguez. I live in Brazil. I'm Venezuelan, okay? And I live in Brazil for almost 7 years already. What I do is I have a consulting company in quality assurance, industrial microbiology, and open innovation. It is as the industries that we support are cosmetics, hygienics, household, and pharmaceuticals. Okay, and it's all about compliance, having a continuous improvement program, right? And not only meeting what the regulations do, it's just a cycle of improvement that companies should do to assure the product that they produce is at the right quality and what the consumers expect. So manufacturing is the target. A good lead for me, for the company, is contract manufacturing, or it could be small or medium-sized companies in those industries. Also could be big companies that do have some tercerization of their manufacturing processes and need a person that follow up on that, not their own resources. This could be also, for example, they qualify suppliers and they need a person in charge of that, for example. And one of the pillars of my consultation practice is in open innovation. So a lead could be technology owners that want to open a new market in Latin America, particularly in Brazil, where I'm located. I can be the person that help the technology owner to understand the regulations, to understand what they need to do, to identify new business partners, these kind of things, right? That's it. Perception of time. For me, of course, time go fast. I'm distracted by nature. So a long time ago, I need to work in a very organized and structured way, such a way I don't get distracted with things. And this helped me to meet all the objectives on time, actually ahead of time, thanks to the structure and the strategies that I follow to assure the time is sufficient. And I also can have time for recreation and have things that I like to do that are not related to work. So I think that's my perception of time is reality, the time happens. So you need to be organized such a way you can reach your goals.
Thank you.
And I will call Catherine.
Thank you, Beatriz. I'm Catherine Reed. I'm based in Austria right now, but I'm originally from the UK. And I'm a consultant helping small and medium FMCG companies to either enter into the European markets or enter into the Asian markets whereby my main focus is probably on Asia, so Southeast Asia, China, and Korea, also a little bit Taiwan. Yeah, and I love working especially with food and beverage brands. So an ideal lead for me is a medium-sized food or beverage company who would like to expand internationally into either Europe or Asia, whereby I prefer to talk about Asia, so that, but they're not sure exactly how to do it. So they perhaps need somebody to do a little bit of hand holding, to support them also on culture, and to do a full end-to-end process for them, or to enable them to do the end-to-end process with my support. But an ideal contact for me could also be, for example, a distribution company who's looking for brands, new brands, interesting brands to add to their portfolio, because I'm also always looking for people that would help me to make perfect matchmaking for my clients. So that would also be great. If we're talking about time for me is something that's very elastic, because I sometimes feel like it goes really, really slowly. And then there are other times when it just absolutely flies by. And I think in total, time often flies by, partly because I'm busy and enjoying doing what I'm doing, but sometimes time just flies by because I'm not actually living in the present, and because I'm worrying too much about something that's coming next week. And so it makes the time seem to go even faster. So yeah, I try and concentrate on living in the moment, but also being focused on what I do, and also recognizing that sometimes my clients have different approaches towards time, because as we know, across the globe, not everybody sees time the same way. Yeah. And I would pass over to Deborah.
Thanks, Catherine. Good morning, everyone. I'm Deb Young. I'm co-founder and managing partner of Sheer Velocity. I'm based in Denver, Colorado. We are an international retained executive search firm working in the lower middle market, founder-owned, private equity portfolio company. So I've had my company since 2012 and been doing this for recruitment, executive recruitment for 20 plus years. Ideal clients for me are anyone that's in that lower middle market, and I'll define that. It can be anywhere from a $10 million company to a $1 billion company, just depending on their needs. And if they're looking to fill a role in the C-suite or VP level, if they're looking to sell as a founder and want to prepare for a much higher valuation and multiple on their exit to bring in talent, to have the team in place for that, for it being acquired, those sorts of things. We also do deal advisory and due diligence work for private equity firms. When they're looking to acquire a firm, we bring in executives that can poke holes basically in that target acquisition to make sure that it's a healthy acquisition for them. So, you know, basically good leads for me then are anyone that is looking to bring on talent. I don't do lower level or mid-level talent. It's pretty much, you know, your key leadership teams. We do all industries. I have people across the country. I have office in Seattle, San Francisco, Dallas, St. Louis, Chicago, and Denver. And then we have reach in 35 countries around the world as well. Time, very interesting. To Catherine and Beatrice, when you're a consultant, you're kind of on client time versus your own time. And like Catherine says, it can mean different things to different people. I find time goes by very quickly And I'm super regimented in my schedule every day. I mean, I get up at 4 a.m. and it doesn't stop until I go to bed at night. And it's all structured. I wish I could be a little bit more flexible, but I find that if I don't keep that kind of schedule and that rigor, I can't keep up with the demands of clients' personal life. But I do take time to exercise every day. I do yoga before I go to bed. I do all sorts of things to keep myself whole. But I would like to live more in the moment. I'm always thinking 10 steps ahead. So, was that it, Maria?
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
I will hand this off to Monica.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Monica Varas. I'm in New Jersey. I have been living in New Jersey for the past 40 years, but I was born in Peru, in South America. I'm a commercial insurance broker, and what I do is I insure businesses. I basically have three types of clients. The international client that is coming for the first time to the United States and is looking to open businesses here. The local client, the USA clients, and then the global clients. Those are the clients that have businesses all around the world. The perfect lead for me will be perhaps someone that is coming into the United States for the first time to open businesses here. We tend to do a lot of those type of clients, and of course the local USA client that is looking for insurance or for some sort of guidance on regulations. Time for me is something very important. I think time is the accumulation of different moments. A lot of times we take for granted, and we need to balance. I think the year is correct. Time is going really fast, but to me, what I'm trying to do is trying to accumulate or put in my calendar a lot of good and important moments during the day. Like Debra, I love to do yoga and meditate. That's how I start my morning every day. And right after that, I look into my calendar and I make sure that I put some moments for myself or for my family or for things that are important in my life. And that's about it. Thank you so much. I'm going to pass it to Olivia.
Hello, everyone. I'm Clavia Baskin, and I'm located in Alexandria, Virginia. And I have a company. What we do is support global companies that move their employees around the world. And so we help them wherever they go at the destination with soft skills, getting settled into the community. We also do cross-cultural training, offer language and spouse support for careers for those who can work in those locations. So inbound to the US, cross-border and outbound. My client that typically that we work with are corporations that have anywhere from their first international move, that are doing their first international move, to up to 500 employees that they move. And it can be also relocation management companies like there's Serva, BGRS, the larger companies. We work with some of those as well, who outsource what we do. It's called destination services, and that's always outsourced by the RMC. Perception of time. I feel like I'm always running behind it, trying to catch up, trying to be more present, always doing something. And one of the things that I really enjoy is on the weekends, I'm not on my calendar for the most part. I try to just take some time where I have that elasticity and don't have to live my life by the calendar. So,
Thank you.
and I'll pass it on to, let's see, Rosie.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's good to see familiar faces like Monica, Beatriz, Debra, and of course you, Maria. So my name is Rosie Lopez Gross. I am also from Venezuela, like Beatriz, but based in Canada. I've been living in Canada for 17 years now. And in Venezuela, I went to law school. And when coming to Canada, for a few years, I worked in the nonprofit sector at Make-A-Wish Foundation. But then I found a way to go back to work in a more legal environment. So for the past 10 years, I've been working on international market expansion and also legal operations and global entity management. And in my current role, I work for Athenian, which is a software for global entity management. So our ideal lead is our companies that manage 20 plus legal entities in at least 5 jurisdictions. So they use our platform to organize all their corporate data and to organize all their deadlines, etc., around compliance across all these different countries. And so after being behind the scenes or working for companies doing all this entity management work on the field, now I'm consultant for Athenian, but I am an employee. I do have the consultant title, but I'm a full-time employee consulting for global operations. So that meaning bringing the industry knowledge into the company for product improvement, for marketing content, and things like that. So for my perception of time, it has changed with in my life, of course. Now I'm in my early 40s and I feel a lot of pressure to always do something. I feel like I am in my most productive years, but at the same time, I do want to be present. I'm not always successful at doing it. I do see my days going by working most of the time. So I wish I had a more structured schedule like you, Deborah. For example, I tend to be more flexible, but that's not good because then I'm always ready to get things that are thrown at me, mostly for work. And I'm always ready. I'm always the person that says, yes, I can do it. And I'm realizing that that's not great. So realizing how precious and how valuable time is. And I'm doing my best to have a more structured schedule, to bring myself and my family first over work and not be working for others so much, but having a better balance and have some time for me and my family as well. And I'm going to pass it on to Didi.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Hi, Maria. Lovely to meet you. So I am based in London, currently in Casablanca in Morocco. So I usually join the London monthly meetups. It's my first time like joining the global one, and I'm so happy to see new faces and hopefully to make new connections. So what I do is basically a lot, everything Middle East related. So our company is a small company called StarCat. Star is for 5-star cat for consulting and training. So we help people understand the Middle East. And when I say Middle East, is the Gulf region, so Saudi, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, and Kuwait, in how to do business with them. Because one thing that people really take for granted is understanding the culture. You can open a business over there, you can meet people, but if you don't understand how to create a relationship, how to build, the connection with the client, that's not going to happen. And I tell you that because me and the founder, I'm the director, and the founder, Corina, basically we worked in 5-star luxury hotels in London, and we worked with Middle Eastern clients. So everything that we know, our knowledge, is basically proven to work. We travel to the region very often. We also have clients from the Middle East that when they come to London, we still book hotels for them. But we realize that there is a need for people to understand the culture. And when I say need, is basically people that want to go there and they need advisory in what to dress, how to act, how to address people, because you can be in a room of a sheikh and maybe basically is not even a sheikh, but is a royalty not to be addressed as a sheikh. So by addressing it in the wrong way, you basically says everything about how much homework and how much, digging you have done. Same with recruitment companies. So maybe, Clivia, we can connect. There are a lot of people that they want to relocate in Saudi Arabia. The scope in Saudi Arabia has really changed. However, they don't know what they're stepping into. They don't know that maybe 5 years ago, Saudi Arabia was a closed country and now it's opened up. So everything is changing very slowly. So there is a lot to, a lot of information to soak in, because a lot of people, and I'm not afraid to say that when it comes to the UK, people are quite knowledgeable. And then if we move just a little bit to the US, what we all know is just about Dubai. Dubai is targeted to be the Middle East, where Dubai is just a city, is not even a country. So, there are a lot of things, just because they did a great marketing, of course. So there is a lot of things that, to look at. So the leads could be anyone interested to learn more about the Middle East, that wants to go to the Middle East. So the Gulf region in general, they want to see what opportunities, if it's job related, if it's like a hotel that wants to attract more Middle Eastern clients, because also we help companies in the West to basically understand if the correct strategy it's on place. Because if you think that 99% of the population in the Gulf region is on social media, it's insane. And yet we still work with hotels that they do their marketing strategy all via emails. Emails, yes, it's still doable, but it's, let's say, old school when you work with the Gulf region. So there are tricks and tips that we use that we basically help other companies to work with it. Sorry, if I keep talking, I talk for hours. So let me just close it up and say, when it comes to the perception of time, Maria, the painting that you talked about is on my, not here, is in London, on my wall for the past 10 years, is my favorite painting. And it's everything and nothing. So it's up to us how we manage our time. And it's up to us, first of all, to focus on our mindset. I'm very young, but I started working when I was 15. And I realized only during COVID that I really have to work on my mindset to be able to actually deliver. So I always take 1 hour of the time a day that I go swimming, because swimming is the only time of the time that I'm not on my phone, because I work a lot on my phone with clients from the Middle East. So I know that in that 1 hour, I will not be looking at my phone on my WhatsApp. So that's what I do. And once I'm out of it, I basically meditate in the water. So I really advise anyone to do it, because while you work in your brain, while you swim in, your brain is actually working. And once I'm out of it, I'm basically ready to show up and, work on whatever I have to do. So yeah, that's all I do. I will share my details in here. I'm happy to connect on LinkedIn. We're quite active on LinkedIn. We have a newsletter if anyone wants to sign up on the newsletter, where we share a lot of information about the Middle East tips and insights. And I'm available for whoever wants to chat and talk further. Thank you so much. And I pass it to, I think, Susanna, which is the last person on the list. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I couldn't unmute myself. Well, like I said initially, I'm based in Barcelona. I'm Susana Jimenez. I am originally from Barcelona. I have lived in the US, in New York, San Francisco for a few years. Initially, when I was working in a different industry, the hospitality industry at the Ritz-Carlton. Actually, I can see Clivia with, the Golden Gate behind. So I used to live in San Francisco. I am also a business consultant. My specialty is human resources, leadership, emotional intelligence, culture. So what I do is I work with small to medium companies. I joined last year around August Global Chamber, because I do want to, be more internationalize myself, my company. So my consultancy is basically what we do is we make an analysis, okay, to see what are the issues the company is going through. So that would be anything from, talent retention, the need to have a team more aligned. Maybe they need leadership training or soft skills training. So what I do is I have a first chat with the decision maker. And then either they give me the information or I help them make an analysis. And then depending what they need, it may be that I offer individual coaching, okay, to any member in the company. Team coaching, I have my own team coaching methodology that is actually carried out in only 3 sessions, and it's absolutely transformational. It's called Skill EQ. It's based on knowledge and development of emotional intelligence, because I myself managed for over 25 years different companies in different industries. As I was saying, I lived in New York, also San Francisco, in Europe, and I'm excited to see Catherine because she's in Austria from the UK, so we're both in Europe. I already knew, you know, Beatrice and Maria. Some of you have already met Clive. Clivia in another sessions. So my ideal client is anyone who needs individual coaching. So I assist, you know, individuals, either, you know, business owners. They cannot not be working in a company. It's like I am here and I need help getting to another place fast. I'm very executive, so I spend just 3, 4, maximum 5 sessions, and I can help, you know, a big deal, an individual. Team coaching and then training depending on what the company needs. And in terms of human resources, in terms of as a consultant, sometimes companies need to improve their onboarding process or offboarding process, or, you know, employee evaluation. So any of those stages in human resources, that's what I do as well. So I believe now I have to talk to you about time. It's been very interesting listening to you ladies, how you perceive time. Excited about Didi, how she said, I'm young, but I've figured some things out. Clearly, one of the things that made me change was I was going through a lot of stress. I am a mother of a 22-year-old now, daughter, the one who just kissed me now, she arrived home, and a 20-year-old son. I've been raising them on my own for the last 16 years. Their father has never been in the picture. So it's been very demanding, emotionally, you know, work-wise. So about a couple of years ago, my body was like, you know, I realized that I needed to make some changes. Taking care of ourselves is something really holistic. So I started definitely meditating, like a couple of you have said, every day, morning and evening. I do Pilates and yoga, which I never thought I would enjoy, and I love it because I need to, for my age, I need to, you know, be stronger and take care of my muscles, right? So Pilates is very helpful. I also take natural supplements to boost the intelligence of my immune system, which is really so important for our health. And I don't feel stressed. I have managed to really live in the present. It is very difficult. Catherine also mentioned that. And I believe, you know, some of you have mentioned, but it is possible. So that's one of the things that I enjoy sharing with the people I know is, you know, how I manage, because if I did, everyone can. And I'm also busy with my clients, but I do also manage to, I think as you grow, it is important to, as possible, you know, not always, choose the clients you work for, because it's really like a collaboration. So that at least I try to find clients that we share values. So like, you know, collaboration and communication, and also respect, which means if I'm not available, then they respect that, which is good. So time for me, yeah, it's now okay. I'm okay with time. I enjoy also taking some time for me, my family. So yeah, that would be something that I enjoy. And in terms of reaching out to me, I'm already in contact with some of you ladies, but I will also share here in the comments my LinkedIn profile. I'm also very active. So if you're interested in like emotional intelligence coaching, like, you know, self development, I share articles in English and Spanish, both in LinkedIn and on my website in the blog. So I'm happy to share that with you. Thank you, ladies. I believe I'm going to call Siobhan Show, right?
Hi, everyone. I'm late to the party today because I was on a UNDP COFSA event, and it was an hour and a half, and I just really wanted to pop in and say hello and find out what you're talking about. We were talking about farmers' well-being because it's the COFSA is the Conscious Food Systems Alliance, and of course it is a number of UN UN people and academics working in mental health, and of course, some farmers. And as a farmer myself in sustainable farming and technology to improve farmers' resilience and their sustainability and their work-life balance, I always sit in on those, and they go longer than I expect. So what did I miss?
Okay, go ahead. Somebody want to share what is the next thing that actually she will share with us?
Siobhan, is that how you say your name?
Siobhan.
Siobhan. Oh,
Siobhan.
I'm sorry, I got that way wrong.
Oh, no
We're
problem.
talking about what we do, what are good leads for us, and
Mhm.
our perception of time and what that means to us as well.
Thank you so much, Deborah.
Well, I'm the co-founder of Growing to Give, growingtogive.org, as you can see on my picture there. And I am in sustainable farming, but we have a global organization. It's a growing organization. And what we do is we work with small-scale farmers and community farms and gardens to build their resilience so that they can grow more food with less. We've recently been chosen as one of the top 48 applicants for the world's largest food, environmental prize. It's called the Food Planet Prize. It's a $2 million prize, and we're in the running for it this year, the first year that we've applied. And it's because of what we do to help farmers. There's not a lot of people or not a lot of NGOs that are focused on helping farmers from the ground up. So providing them sustainable systems that help them reduce the amount of effort that's put into farming, reduce the amount of resources and the cost of those inputs from water and fertilizer to just about anything else. So my husband is John Kendall. He's the inventor of the crop circle farm and garden systems and the tomato volcanoes, and they're making a huge impact on those farmers that are using them. And we've created, mostly me, have created Growing to Give so that we can reach those farmers and help them. So that's what I spend my days doing.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I would like to actually take for you guys to please share your contact information in the chat box. And one thing that I learned is please save the chat box before we finish the meeting, because otherwise you will lose all the information. So please share your contact information in the chat box. And I'm going to go ahead. Let me see if I can share my screen here. I have something that I would like us to see. I don't know how to share my screen here. Okay, here we are. Can you see these two women? Okay, so this one came up this last Sunday in the New York Times. And I saw this picture and I saw the year 1949. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, it hasn't been that long and looks like it's a long time, and how things have changed for women. So I was thinking about the role of women as a, home state. So the women who stay at home and raise their kids, and how many women were professionals. So I found this data from the census, and it's interesting to see how things have changed since then. So I want to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and I would like us to have a conversation about 1949 and 2024. What are your thoughts? What was your reaction with that picture?
I don't have time to sit under a hairdryer. I just don't, and how far we've come to be able to pull ourselves together to be professionals working women and how much and someone correct me if you don't feel this way, a lot of our success is based around presentation of ourselves versus men. So that was my first reaction to that photo.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Who else wanted to share what was your impression when you saw the picture of these two women in the dryer, hair dryer, and waiting there? Do they look happy?
Just my impression, I wasn't there at the time, but my impression was that the time was well spent at that time, where now I think we live in a society where it's very speed forward, and we don't have time to think, where back then, going to the hairdresser was a must, let's say, where nowadays I don't remember last time I went to hairdresser. Like, you would go when you go for a wedding, you would go when you have like a special occasion or your birthday, where there, I think being a woman, being well looked after was a priority. This is the way I see it.
Okay. Who else?
To me, it
I
was
will
like
talk.
time.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Time was well managed back then. Priorities were different for a woman, and not like today, right? Like Didi say, today we don't have time for anything like that.
Okay. Next. Who else?
What I was planning, what I'm going to say is just remember my mother. My mother, when she finished school, the priority was get married and have kids, and she did. But when I was, she had 4 kids, right? I'm the oldest. When I have 1 year at the university, she starts university herself. I remember me helping her with the statistics, math, because she was going crazy with those things. And it was like growing together professionally, and was really nice. So she could see the changes on those priorities through us, through their kids, and the family support her, of course. And then she started working, and she managed to be, she studied education. So she managed to start as a teacher in a school and ends as the director of that school. So it's an inspiration, but it also talk about the time that in just 1 generation, she was able to move from one way of thinking and a mindset to the professional mindset.
Okay.
And we all feel very proud of her.
Thank you. Thank you, Beatriz. Rosie.
Thank you. I disagree. I don't think priorities back then were necessarily better than today. I think there were a lot of different pressures from society for women to look a certain way, to do things, to have a role in their homes. So I do appreciate that we have more freedom today to be whatever we want to be. If we don't want to spend the money at the hairdresser, or if we rather do it at a Pilates classes or doing something else. Maybe the one thing that I see from that photo is that maybe nowadays, if I take the time to go to a hairdresser, I would have my phone with me, or I think technology is the thing that it's distracting us the most. But yeah, I think that not necessarily past times were better for women. I disagree. I think today we're maybe on the other extreme, where whenever we can do it, and if we are in a country that allows us to be the most we can be, we are, but then that's putting also other types of different pressures, but at least we have more choices.
Thank you. Anybody else wanted to share your thoughts? Okay.
I was
Susana.
thinking that I was just recently in a congress in Madrid last week, And it's the third Congress I go in the last 3 months that I go with trainers. Nice, cool looking trainers, like elegant trainers, but trainers nevertheless. No more high heels, no, not anymore. And so I am like nicely dressed because I see guys doing the same. They have a suit and white trainers. So I have my lovely, golden, Juliu trainers. And then I've been, paying attention, like looking at other women. And I've realized that, like Didi and Rosie say, younger women are obviously very comfortable. It doesn't matter if it's trainers or like definitely flat shoes. And yeah, you can go, upper casual, but making sure that you're comfortable because we're going to spend there hours. And by the way, in these congresses that I've been attending on behalf of Global Chamber with Yuka, the executive director, most of you probably know. So we together said, yep, we need to be comfortable and really be, enjoying the connections and not thinking about, oh, how painful this is. And I will not mention who, but the last, a couple of months ago, one of the global chamber members came from the US, and she was wearing like high heels, like so thin. And after half an hour, she was like, I could tell she just wanted to sit. But the following day, she came with different shoes because she didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. And I think that was something that it just wasn't possible before. So I agree with Didi and Rosie that I think in some ways we have it better now. And we just need to learn about self-value, self-worth. Like I believe, I think someone said, I need to learn how to say no. Yeah, I think this is something we all need to learn. But yeah, I think we have a complex life, but we have access to a lot of information online. And we can get, ourselves in a different mood so that, we're just happier with this, crazy life and digital. That's just my opinion.
Thank you so much. Okay, yes, go ahead.
My oldest sister was born in 1949, so my mother would have been one of those women sitting under those huge dryers. And I remember even when I was born a whole lot of years later, my mom, although she was a farmer, she went to the salon every week to have her hair permed and colored. It was a part of their schedule. She would be out herding cattle or cleaning out the chicken sheds. And she came from a wealthy family. She married my dad, who was a high school principal, and they bought a farm when I was little. And so they were doing that later in life. And she absolutely enjoyed it because she could be her authentic self, but then she could dress up and go out for drinks and dinner with my dad. They could go to the big city for events. So she had this sort of wonderful life where she could, roll around in the dirt basically and be in nature and care for not only her children but the animals that were under her stewardship, and just create this amazing life. So there was this authenticity, and I think that we found our way back to authenticity because authenticity is becoming a big thing. I have a bad hair day. I don't think anybody on this call is going to call me out and say, Siobhan, you better have gotten to the, beauty salon this week. If my lipstick is already wiped off, you're not going to be too worried about it. And I think that, wearing trainers at a business event is just, being comfortable. Why should we wear high heels? I can't imagine. And we all have a brand that we want to put out there. And I love, I want to make sure my pictures look good. But if you take a look at any of our farming pictures, you'll see pictures of me where I look like a drenched rat because I've been out in pouring rain. But I want to talk to you guys, or I've got pictures where I have dirt on my face. And I think that it's okay now to not be all prepped and perfect for any public events that we attend to. And I'm sure some of you are sitting in your leggings or your pajama bottoms right now, and you look good on top, and we all know what, you know, I have leggings on right now. So I just think that we're getting away from that very staunch way of doing business. We still respect each other. I make sure I brush my teeth and comb my hair and put my lipstick on. But if that's all I can do, that's acceptable, because we're all human, and we need to be real with each other, because I think that's the level where we connect. And in business, even that way as well, you know, bring your heart center to the table. And because I feel that when we collaborate that way, we can get so much more done, because we're bringing passion. We're bringing, you know, I was just talking on the CASA, and I know I brought my passion to it, because I'm speaking to all the academics and the UN people, and I asked them, who here is a farmer? And we were in a group about this size in a breakout room, and one person put their hand up. I asked how many people had grown food, and a couple more was like, you know, I guess I have a garden. But they were trying to help farmers' well-being, but they've never been in the farmer's shoes. So I think that it's important, even in business too, to try to be in the shoes of the people that you're collaborating with and you're connecting with.
Absolutely. Yeah, being ourselves. Yeah, I love that. And you know, something that actually I was reflecting when I saw the picture was to who, besides ourselves, to who we were trying to be presentable, you know? And somehow my mind went back to the Eleanor Roosevelt autobiography. And she, in her book, actually, she did a lot of work to help women to have a better position in society and in the work environment. And she actually, in her book, she had a list. They say, this is what the rules are in society. And she actually, there is a list, that the list of how to be a good wife. And I was like, what? And being presentable, being looking good was one of the things in that list. So when we're talking about now, we spend our time in Pilates and yoga. Yes, we don't go to these things, but I am so glad time has changed, you know, because that was one of the things in the list that kind of struck me like, wow, you have to make sure that you look rest. You have to make sure that the kids are fed and that the food is warm, and you need to look good and fresh so your husband can have a better experience when he gets home. I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's what actually went in my mind when I saw the picture. And when I look at the picture, and one of the things that I saw also, look at the face of the person. One is reading, but look at the face of the other woman. So I was like, I wonder what she has in her mind, you know? She doesn't look happy. So like, well, 1949, now we are here. We spend our time different. We don't go to, I don't know how many hours. How many hours do you think someone spent at that time? 3-4 hours getting their hair done, at least the whole morning or afternoon. So anyway, something to reflect about time. Please don't forget to copy the chat box before we go, so you have everybody's contact. And I would like to go around the room really fast, and I would like you to share with us, with one word, what are you taking with you today from this meeting? And I'm going to start with myself, and then I will pass it to someone else. I'm taking from this meeting that actually I never thought about the priorities at that time and the priorities in like now today for women, and some of the actually the numbers about the working women. So that's what I take with me today. I will not. Susana, what are you taking with you from this meeting?
Well, I take you ladies. It's been refreshing to stop my day. It's like an oasis to just be with you and be present and not be thinking or doing anything else. I've been just taking notes about you ladies, what you do and your clients. And I've connected with some of you on LinkedIn that I didn't connect before. So just, it was a lovely conversation, lovely. I feel really comfortable and happy. So that's what I take. And I'm
Thank
going to
you.
pass it on to Rosie.
To be fully honest, I know there's people that do meditation, yoga, etc. But to me, it was like, do they really? So to meet some of you that actually do take the time to do it has been inspiring. I don't make time for a lot of things that I would like to do. So thank you for the inspiration.
Yes. Can you pass it to someone?
Yes, I'll pass it on to Beatriz.
Thank you, Rosie. For me, what catch my attention is what Rosie said about not only dedicating time to your professional life and own development, also to having some hobbies, to know yourself and understand what is struggling you, what you can do to feel better, being, because you need to eat better or because you need some time to relax. Being meditation, I don't meditate. I prefer doing hard exercise like running or beach tennis or, these kind of things. But what is important is that we really make time to organize ourselves for us.
Thank you.
It's very, very important.
Thank you, Beatriz. And unfortunately, we cannot go around everybody, but please, I hope that you take something from this meeting. We are running out of time. It's 10. Have a lovely, lovely day and rest of the week. And good for us that we invest in ourselves. Yay. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. Thank
Thank you.
Goodbye, ladies. Thank you.
Have a banner week, everyone.